Well, greetings everyone and welcome to another episode of Can't Wait Wednesdays here on the KB Radio Network. How are you doing out there in podcast listening land? Are you ready for this weekend? Are you ready to rumble? Because we have a lineup this weekend that is tailor-made for everyone out there. I think this is it's shaping up to be one of the best weekends of this year, of this month rather. I ain't gonna say year, of this month, because we have 4 different properties that are popping off in 4 different genres. We have 2 films and 2 television shows, and all 4 of them are just amazing. Amazing in the sense that I can't wait for them, and I'm pretty sure you can't wait for them either. Let's run them down. Let's run down what's coming out this weekend on the big screen as well as at home. Let's start on the big screen. Let's start in movie theaters. Coming out this Friday, August the 19th, we have a survival thriller that I saw the trailer for a couple of months ago and didn't know anything about it. Going into it, I thought this was a film that I've seen already. You know, when the trailer first came on, and as the trailer kept going, I'm like, wait, no, this is something else. This is something that I quite frankly haven't seen since The Ghost in the Darkness. If you remember that film with Michael Douglas and Val Kilmer, very good film about lions, about man-eating lions. And I haven't seen a good lion attack movie in years. And we finally getting another one here this Friday with Beast. Beast stars Idris Elba and Sharlto Copley, I believe I say his name. We know him from, well, we all know Idris Elba, but Sharlto we know from District 9, that A-Team movie that they made, and many other films. He's a real good actor, and I haven't seen him in anything in a while. He stuck out most in the trailer when I saw it. And so this film, the premise of this film is a recently widowed husband returns to South Africa where he first met his wife on a long-planned trip with his 2 young daughters to a game reserve managed by an old family friend and fellow wildlife biologist. Soon, a fierce man-eating lion begins attacking them and killing everyone in its path. Sign me up. I want to see that. That looks amazing. This film looks amazing. This film is directed by Basatar Kornmacyor. Pretty sure I butchered his name. He directed 2 Guns. I know that much. He directed that film, which starred Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg a few years back. It really does stick out to me because it was filmed in my hometown. I actually witnessed them filming that film, and he was the director. And so I have a special place in my heart for him. He also directed Contraband, which he also filmed in New Orleans. He loves New Orleans for some strange reasons, which is fine. But he's a very competent director. This looks great. This film is produced by Will Packer, who I didn't think that Will Packer really went this route with films. Normally, Will Packer has produced mostly comedies, you know. Pick a Kevin Hart movie, he's produced it. What else? But it was mostly comedies. I know he's oh my God, what is it? The Steve Hart movies. Think Like a Man and Think Like a Man 2. Movies like that. That's normally his wheelhouse. So this is kind of a turn. But it looks amazing. I can't wait to see this film. Lions are apex predators, and it's something about lions that really just pique my interest. How they hunt, how they move, how their dens are structured. You know how the women, I say women, women, the female lions, they are the most fierce, to be honest with you. And I'm only getting this from watching Discovery every now and then. And the lions are just, not to be messed with. But as far as going hunting, it's the female lions or the lioness. But anyways, this ain't a history lesson or Discovery Channel lesson. I'm excited for this. And this is Idris Elba, who, coincidentally enough, we'll be talking about him next week because he has another film coming out next week. So he is a busy, busy man. Saw him just a few weeks ago in a cameo in Thor: Love and Thunder. So Idris Elba has been working, man. But I'm excited for Beast. Beast is scheduled for release this Friday, August the 19th in theaters. Also in theaters, we have a sequel or a prequel, I believe. I don't know. Don't know much about the film, but I enjoyed the first film. Orphan First Kill. I think back in 2009. Yeah, that sounds about right. 2009, Orphan came out, and it was one of those films that when the twist happened at the end of that film, your jaw hit the floor. Everybody I talked to, at least, did not see it coming. And normally I see things like this coming. Did not see that twist coming at the end of Orphan. And it was a good movie. Small little movie. But it was interesting. It was good. Little horror film. Psychological horror film, if you will. And now we're getting the prequel, I guess you can say. And reprising her role as Esther, returning is Isabelle Farman. And basically the premise of this is that this young lady has this condition that she looks like a little girl. She can never grow up, I guess you could say, look wise. She looks like a 12-year-old girl. In actuality, she's in her 30s. And going to the first film, the reason she flips out, and that was the twist. That was I spoiled Orphan if you haven't seen it, too bad. That was the twist, because due to the fact she can't grow up or physically grow up, she can never find love. She can never get affection. You know what I'm saying? And that pretty much drove her crazy. And so crazy enough to kill. So she's back, but not back because this is the prequel. And I guess this is where it all started. And I'm all for it. Looks interesting. I'm a fan of that character. Didn't think we'll get a franchise out of it. I mean, it took 12 years, 13 years to get it, but we're finally getting a sequel or a prequel or whatever out of the franchise. But this is one to watch. I am excited to see it. Orphan First Kill will be released in theaters this Friday, August the 19th, as well as streaming on Paramount Plus. So if you're still not up to snuff to go to the theaters, you can check this out on Paramount Plus. All right, and speaking of streaming services, we have two biggies, and I mean biggies. It don't get bigger than these. This here, we don't have to wait till Friday. We can pop it off tomorrow on Disney Plus. The highly anticipated She-Hulk Attorney at Law. She-Hulk in the comics was a exciting character to read up on. I really enjoyed it because the way She-Hulk broke the fourth wall, and it was like Deadpool. You know, she was fully aware that she was in a comic book, I guess you could say. And I loved how they drew her. You couldn't help but fall in love with She-Hulk, even though she was green. Boy, they had Jennifer Walters fine as I don't know it. The backstory of Jennifer Walters and how she became She-Hulk, for those who don't know, never read the comics, she is the cousin of Bruce Banner. And she got in an accident and she needed a blood transfusion. And who was there to give her the blood transfusion was none other than her lovely cousin, Bruce, whose blood is reeking with gamma radiation. So, lo and behold, she became She-Hulk. But she embraced it. She kept her, I guess, brain, kept her consciousness when she was She-Hulk, unlike the Hulk. I know the Hulk in the current iteration of the MCU is Professor Hulk, and he has Bruce Banner's brain and everything, but which did happen in the comics, but it wasn't something that was permanent in the comics. Whereas Jennifer Walters, she kept hers throughout. So this series is the first actual sitcom in the MCU. This is going to be a comedy. It's going to be a law drama. Of course, it's going to have some superhero action in it. And this was announced at Comic-Con. So it's going to be more like Ally McBeal, if you ever watched that show years ago. I think that's what it's going to have, that type of vibe. At least that's the tone I got from the trailers. And that's fine. That's fine. I think the one thing with the MCU, if we're going to keep getting content after content after content from the MCU, you have to constantly do things differently. We can't get the same old. It gets tired quick. I think a lot of people right now are starting to get kind of burnt out with Marvel. And I can understand it because to a degree I'm kind of burnt out with it. But it's so much stuff. So many characters, so many stories to tell. It's exciting, but I think it's too much. But I think the reason for that is the pandemic. And we didn't get anything for like 2 years or a year and a half and pushed back a lot of stuff. Whereas we was only going to get like 2, maybe 3 Marvel properties a year, and now we're getting 4 or 5 a year, because they're trying to catch up with their schedule. I think that's the only reason. It'll start balancing itself out very soon. But She-Hulk, or the character of She-Hulk in this show, will be played by Tatiana Maslany, who is known for her role in Orphan Black, which I didn't watch Orphan Black. I think I caught maybe 1 or 2 episodes of it. But the consensus is that she was made for this. And once again, I can only go by the trailers. Going by the trailers, it looks like she fits. Also starring in this series, we have, of course, Mark Ruffalo returning as Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk. Ginger Gormaz, Jamil. We also have Tim Roth returning as the Abomination, and Benedict Wong as Wong. And here's the nugget. Here's the one that's going to bring all the masses together. Coming back, returning in this series is none other than Charlie Cox. Who's Charlie Cox, you ask? Charlie Cox plays none other than Daredevil in the Daredevil Netflix show, and he's been announced to have his own show coming out, Daredevil, on Disney Plus in a couple of years, but we get to see him on this show, and he's wearing the red and yellow, the old throwback uniform from the comics. You saw the little glimpse of that in the trailer. Oh man, that is so exciting. It is so awesome. I am amped up for this show. Don't know where this is heading. Don't know what all the premise is about. I'm assuming it's just the origin of She-Hulk, which is fine with me. Not really looking to gain any knowledge from you know what I'm saying. No, nothing that's gonna move the MCU forward, which I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some cameos, some nuggets in here, but if it's not, I'm cool. I'm fine with it. I just want to have some fun with this show, and it looks like it's going to be a really fun show, maybe even funny show. And the episodes, I believe, are only a half hour long, what they were saying at Comic-Con. So it's not going to be long, drawn out hour-long episodes. So I'm cool with that as well. She-Hulk is attorney at law, is scheduled for release this Thursday, tomorrow, August the 18th on Disney Plus, and it will have 9 episodes, which will conclude on October the 13th. And this is a part of Phase 4 in the MCU, and it's also the last TV show in Phase 4. So, She-Hulk, attorney at law. I am bucked up for this. Can't wait. Don't have to wait long. Only got to wait 24 hours. And we will get to Hulk out with Jennifer Walters. All right, here's the big daddy. Here's the bigums of them all. And this is something that I'm glad in a way, and I'm scared in a way. I'm talking terrified scared. And the reason being, I was left with a bad taste in my mouth from Game of Thrones. Okay, I can't even get it out. I'm so hurt by it. Game of Thrones hurt me so bad that last season. I loved Game of Thrones. Loved it. Loved it so much that I didn't watch it at first. when it first came on, I watched the first season. I got through maybe 2 or 3 episodes of the first season, and I checked out on it because I was mad. I was mad because they killed the main character, one of the main characters. I was like, well, I'm not going to watch the rest of this show. So I stopped watching it for a couple of seasons. Now my wife kept watching it, and she would tell me, "Yeah, you need to watch Game of Thrones." I'm like, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it. I don't want to see it. And I just so happened to be walking by the front room when she was watching it one day, and it was the episode of all episodes. It was none other than the Red Wedding. And I sat down and I watched it because it looked interesting. It grabbed my attention. And that episode had my jaw firmly hitting the ground. I was like, I gotta go back and catch up. So I was able to go back and catch up on all the episodes. And I was mad at myself, kicking myself, because I stopped watching it. I absolutely loved Game of Thrones. We get to the final season of Game of Thrones, and it was all right. First couple episodes was good in that final season, and then it went off the rails. Couldn't stand how it ended. Nobody likes the ending of Game of Thrones. So you may wonder why I'm going on this long rant about Game of Thrones, because this Sunday on HBO, we are getting the prequel to Game of Thrones, a show that is set 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones. And this series will chronicle the beginning of the end of the House of Targaryen. Yes, House of the Dragon. Oh man. Oh man, I wasn't when they first announced it. I wasn't going to check it out. I wasn't. I don't know, because I was so burnt on the end of Game of Thrones. Oh, y'all don't deserve my attention. But the trailer got me. I admit it. The trailer, it got me. It got me. And yes, I got to watch it. I at least got to give it the first 2 episodes. I'm going to give it the first 2 episodes. If I'm not satisfied, I'm going to check out. But I'm going to give it that. But this looks amazing. House of the Dragon is an American fantasy drama television series, and it is the prequel to the television series Game of Thrones, which ran from 2011 to 2019. And this is based on books by George R.R. Martin. And man, I don't know, man. I don't know what possessed him, what grade of weed he was smoking when he wrote this book, because this is wow, and it is so exciting. One of the stories I wanted told, when you watched Game of Thrones, I wanted to know what happened to the House of Targaryen, because I wanted to know, how did they fall? They had dragons. How did they lose? And this is what we're getting. We're going to get that story. So sign me up. This Sunday, August the 21st, we are getting House of the Dragon on HBO and HBO Max. So, yeah, we get starting tomorrow. Basically, almost every day we got something to do this weekend. We got something to watch. Starting tomorrow on Disney Plus, we have She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. Friday, in theaters as well as Paramount Plus, we're gonna have Orphan First Kill. Also in theaters this Friday, we have Beast starring Idris Elba. And this Sunday on HBO and HBO Max, we have the premiere of the Game of Thrones prequel, House of the Dragon. Which one are you excited for? Give me all 4. All 4 has my attention, have me on the edge of my seat, have something to look forward to this weekend. All 4 of these, I'm all for it. So, but which one are you super excited for? Let me know. Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. Also, you can give us a shout out on social media. Let me know that way as well. That's an easy way. Just look up the KB Radio Network on all social media platforms. Whatever listening platform you're listening to this show on currently, don't forget, when you finish listening, just scroll on down, give those 5-star reviews. Well, 5 stars and reviews. And don't forget to share the show. Let everybody know that you're listening to the KB Radio Network. It is a honor, privilege, and joy as always to speak with you. So excited for all the releases this weekend. All of them are right up my alley. We have a little survival movies, a horror movie, comic book show, and a Game of Thrones show. So man, another good weekend, people. Hope you enjoy your weekend. I'm certainly going to enjoy mine. Got a lot going on this weekend along with these shows. I drop off my youngest daughter in her second year of college on Saturday. So I'll be tied up on Saturday. And then you have the Saints game on Friday night. So it's a lot going on this weekend for me. And speaking of the Saints game this Friday, don't forget we're going to have a recap of that preseason game, the Dome Patrol podcast, following the final whistle of that game as well. So keep a lookout for that, all you Who-Dats out there. So everybody, hope you enjoy your weekend. Hope you enjoy all these new releases that are coming out. Want you all to know that I love you. Continue to love one another. And until we speak again, you all be blessed.